Hey there again, hope you're doing well. This is the £40 Sennheiser HD250BT and this is the £22 JBL Tune500 or 500T. Both are budget Bluetooth headphones from... Hey man. Yes? I just want to know three things, man. Do they sound good? Do they feel nice? And are they worth it? Oh yeah, and make it quick. I ain't got time for all that waffle. Boring. Okay, I'll give it a go. Yeah, so like I was saying, they're from well-known professional audio brands, but are you paying for their name? Do they sound as cheap as their price? And are they worth your hard-earned cash? Okay, we're going to cover just three things: sound, comfort, and usability. A fail in any of these for your own personal use case is going to rule one out, so stay tuned to make sure you don't miss any deal breakers. So let's get straight into it. So starting with sound, no need to take my word for it. Take a listen to both for yourself, compared against my on-ear reference Sennheiser Amperior, a premium consumer version of Sennheiser's famous broadcast quality HD25, which cost over £250 when it launched back in 2013. Welcome to GI Chow. So starting with the Sennheiser sound, I found it beautifully clear with natural mid, energetic but unsibilant highs free from harshness, and a punchy bass with enough quantity, impact and depth to be satisfying even with electronic dance music, but without becoming boomy or bleeding into the mids. Detail retrieval, transient response, soundstage imaging and instrument separation were also good. I'd be happy using these for monitoring and mixing. However, since they can't be used wired and hence some Bluetooth latency will always be present, I wouldn't. That said, the latency was very small and not at all noticeable with YouTube. They also support aptX low latency, so it's about as good as you can get. I found the frequency response very nicely judged. However, if you prefer, you can bake in a different EQ with the Sennheiser app, so it remains when you connect to other devices like your laptop or tablet. Noise isolation is not as effective as over-ear or ANC designs, but fine for cafe levels of noise. Moving on to comfort, the cups adjust for head size and articulate enough to ensure a good seal and avoid hotspots. The clamping force isn't too tight, they weigh just 127 grams, and the ear pad material is quite compliant, so they can be worn for several hours without having to do anything more than move them slightly on the ear to relieve or re-site pressure, or to move my glasses frame so the backs of my ears aren't being pressed onto them. Now do bear in mind that on-ears press on your ears to maintain a seal for bass response and isolation, so never going to be as comfortable as an over-ear design that sits on the skull around the ear. However, that's the price one pays for portability. So lastly, usability. The Sennheiser has a clean look that's mainly lightweight and not premium looking plastic, but rather purposeful and rugged like the HD25. They're not foldable but take up the space of a thick paperback, so are easy enough to pack away. Control's a bit plastic feeling but looks solid and hard wearing and do everything you need. I would have preferred using the volume buttons for track skip rather than double or treble tapping the play pause button, which is thoughtfully slightly recessed to allow it being felt for. The mic works well even in a noisy environment. This is a recording using the microphone of the Sennheiser HD250BT. Can you hear my voice clearly? I'm now going to start up some background sounds. Can you clearly hear my voice over the background sounds? And is there any clipping of the beginning or end of words? Battery life is amazing at 24 hours, so at least 2 working days. Connectivity is easy, though Bluetooth fines means it may not work with older laptops. In summary then, this is a great sounding no-frill set of headphones at a bargain price with reasonably good comfort and isolation for an on-ear design. On top of that, it's wireless, comes from a premium brand, lets you change the default EQ if you prefer a different sound signature to compensate for your hearing. It won't compete with circumaural or ANC designs for noise isolation, but so long as it's not too noisy outside, you'll get premium near professional sound quality and the reassurance of probably the most recognised audiophile brand for peanuts. Moving on to the JBL 500T, it has slightly lower sound quality with more present and impactful, but also woollier bass and slightly less clarity. It still sounds good, just more consumer rather than pro. The bass can also be toned down and comfort improved by extending the headband to loosen the clamp, though that clamp does mean it isolates you from background noise a bit better than the Sennheiser. The JBL is less comfortable for long periods due to high clamping force, which is over more of the outer ear, and it's slightly heavier at 156 grams. Now, usability is where the JBL moves ahead. It's cheaper, more fashionable looking, foldable, has chat skip via long pressing the volume controls, is more secure with stronger clamping force, and has multi-point to let you pair to two devices at the same time. This prevents, for example, missed calls on the phone while a tablet is being used, as playback is automatically interrupted and continues after the call. Mic quality is about the same on both, in both noisy and quiet environments. This is a recording using the microphone of the JBL T500. Can you hear my voice clearly? I'm now going to start up some background sounds. Can you clearly hear my voice over the background sounds, and is there any clipping of the beginning or end of words? On the downside, it has a shorter battery life of 16 rather than 25 hours, charging fully in 2 hours rather than 3.5 hours via micro USB rather than USB-C, and no aptX low latency codec or app to bake in a different EQ. That said, I didn't notice any latency with YouTube and was fine with the sound. You can always tone down the bass using EQ on your phone or streaming app. In summary then, the package of good sound quality with the popular bass-driven sound signature in a fashionable folding design that sits very securely on the head at a lower price point represents great value. So to summarise, get the JBL for a good bass-driven sound in a fashionable folding design at a great value price. But the big surprise here is the Sennheiser, which offers an incredibly natural audiophile pro-grade sound in a lightweight but robust and comfortable package at a price point that wouldn't look out of place if it had an extra 1 in front of it. So how did I do? Oh, hey man, sorry, I switched off 5 minutes ago. So I think I'm going to buy me those AirPods Max. They look dope. Oh, no. If you like high quality at the lowest price, please subscribe. Thanks as always to my subscribers and for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.